Hello everybody, we're finally reaching the end of the game. Let's just hop into it. Load to save. But first, before we reach the end of the game, let's take a small detour to save a friend. If you remember from the beginning of the game, Proto Man's capsule got sent down instead of, getting freed. So here we are. Works just like in Mega Man 9, except, actually worse, technically? Better. Yeah, better. Never mind. Better. Worse when you compare it to everyone else, but if you compare it to just Proto Man from Mega Man 9, better. He's got increased knockback, increased damage, just like in Mega Man 9, but not as severe. He's got a stronger charge shot that's faster, and he's got a shield. Aside from that, he's got the same standard movement options as everyone else. The stage itself is pretty difficult compared to some of the other stages in the game, which is a bit annoying considering how they didn't prepare you at all for a difficulty spike like this. Here, these are like the Gutsman platforms from Mega Man 1. They just fall when you reach the gaps. Not that special. Shield comes into use a lot. By that, I mean you should use the shield a lot, otherwise you're going to die. If you're not constantly jumping, you're basically gonna get a game over. More Mega Man 1 references. More heart attacks. These platforms disintegrate when you stand on them, just like in Dune Woman's stage. Those guys just swoop in after you. They're extremely annoying and hard to hit. Unless, you have good aim, unlike me. Charge Shot is extremely powerful. It's the Mega Man stuff. It's the powered-up Charge Shot Mega Man has, but instead of being on the level 3, it's just a regular level 2 Charge Shot, so it's even more powerful. Here's some more tight platforming segments. And here's an extremely annoying platforming segment. I don't know why I found it so hard the first time I did it, but it just worked. The shield is extremely helpful for hitting enemies like this. You just jump and it reflects it right back at them. Do not risk your life for that extra life. It is not worth it at all. 4-spike jump is super difficult. Here, this section is dreadful. Bunch of bombs, and they're all fast. Most viable strategy here is to run and pray, especially here. You just charge through, get lucky. Here, the risk is worth it though. Here you can just slide under it. I still recommend killing all the enemies since you can get drops for it, and you'll need them here, trust me. The damage you take is insane. Might not look like it, but it is. The build-up is crazy. And if you miss that, then you're even worse off. Over there would be Eddie. He would give you a secret item. Here... By the way, you have no special weapons, so you don't get to experiment with those. but you do get to fight off your robot again. I guess that's worth it. He's a difficult fight, does a lot of damage, and he's got several phases. And reflect his shots, and they do deal damage to him depending on reflect, like the charge shots, or just regular buster shots. Sometimes he's inconsistent, and by sometimes I mean he's always inconsistent. I hate this guy. But then again, I love him. Copy Robot is my favorite and least favorite of all. You really want to use your shield more than I'm using it. Also, abuse charge shots because the enemy is going to go phases. The enemy can have 3 phases, then you should be them down quick. That's why they give you the charge shot. The roll phase is especially inconsistent, considering that the jet allows them to bait out movement. Extremely frustrating. And then you reach the Proto Man phase. Same exact abilities as you have. Got the extra charge shots, and he's got a shield for shots. Like that. For some reason, he doesn't take it. You do. And 3 up there. When he jumps high up, sometimes he fires 2 shots, just like in Mega Man 3. See? He can also only fire 2 pellets, just like you. And if you're unlucky to die at the final phase, you go back to the start, and you don't keep your E-tanks. You can say goodbye to all your hard work in this stage, because all you can do right now is pray. Pray that you don't get hit too many times once you reach the Proto Man phase. The movement baits are extremely frustrating, and I think I just got a game over. Never mind, I have 0 lives though, so no more risky maneuvers. I'm gonna try hard. The jumping can dodge your attack, so it's not completely useless. Although it is slightly annoying that they do deal contact damage. Makes sense, but think about how cool it would be if it was a 2-on-2 fight, no contact damage. Either that or when they bump into you, they take damage, and you take damage. I don't know. What am I doing anyway? Every time they can only spam out 3 shots, so yeah. You do not want to get hit by a charge shot from Proto Man, no matter what. No point in risking it. The risk and reward balance here is not at all existent. Any cheap maneuvers you can think of, use them. Doesn't matter what you think, if they're cheap or not. Use any maneuvers you can think of to beat them. Like that. Cheap, easy, and scammy, doesn't matter. The boss is hard. I recommend cheating. Now here we go to the actual finale, where now we have no E-tanks, and we basically have to give up. Give up all your hopes and dreams. Because here we are. Both characters have their own appropriate sections here. First you go through the Mega Man section. References all the previous stages he was in. I highly recommend having that special chart up by now. I mean, if you didn't already get it before entering the castle. If you try to leave the castle and you're already in it, then you get sent back to stage 1. Here, if you didn't beat the bosses already, then you have to refight them. And you already beat them here, so you don't have to fight them again. Extra lives for when you reach the boss rush. Particularly annoying section. Extremely precise jump. Maybe not extremely precise, but precise enough to be annoying. Here, more annoying enemy placements. Stages aren't as good as the earlier stages. Here you have to fight the hardest enemy of all time, E. And you move on to the next segment. Rolls. This segment's harder than Mega Man since Roll takes more damage and doesn't have as many options for just breezing through it other than perfect mobility. Here you'd have to fight Mega Man as Roll, which is just torture. Don't do it. Ever. Sadly, Roll's amazing mobility here doesn't matter at all, because Sniper Joe. Another segment where Roll is proven to be weaker than Mega Man. Here's a segment where a floating jump makes it easier. More big eyes. You can freeze them. Or destroy them, that also works. And there goes your hopes and dreams. Here's the hardest enemy of all time. Made it through. Now we go through to the boss rush. You can choose which character you go through with first. I'm gonna go through with Mega Man first, against whoever this is. Also, new music. It's amazing. Mega Man is extremely effective at dealing with bosses with just the buster, but Roll requires special weapons. Now some special weapons to deal with them. It's an intense fight. I love it. Really feels like a climax. You can even get health. Here you can see a capsule's been destroyed, but you still can't switch to Mega Man, so you're forced to use Roll in some of these. Like this one. Character against the worst character bosses. I technically won. Still have to refight them though. I guess I'll keep using Roll for it, since I already fought them before, I guess. I don't know what to say. Resistant patterns are your worst. I'll hide away from the Doomstorm or basically die. Health is required. Here, I think the best option is to go after Polar One, since they have the worst attack out of everyone. Their attacks are decently easy to dodge, but some of them are frustrating. Like that one, it's an easy bait. But this one, that one's frustrating. I don't know why. It just is. If you get hit by a single one, well, you're basically dead. Now I'm pretty sure down here is Beetle One. Beetle Lady. Yep. Easy to beat, just like last time. Use the same strategy as Mega Man did for walking in, since they're not very good at avoiding it. Follow a set pattern. If you can do that, though, that's a great strategy, since it does more damage. Here I recommend Tide Man versus Mega Man, since Tide Man does a lot of damage. Not as much as other bosses, but decently high. And here I do not recommend ever entering the Ghost Omen Arena as Roll. If you used up all your charge laser energy on the boss earlier, then you probably won't have much for Ghost Omen, which means you'll die as Roll. So I recommend going as Mega Man unless you use energy there. In that case, I recommend giving up. Here this boss was Missile Man. Your weakness is Doomstorm. Tornado, whatever it was called. Weakness, but the weakness. Turns out I accidentally fought Reactor Man. Oh no. At least it's gonna be fun. Unlike fighting him with Roll. Another climactic fight. Buster fights are always more fun than special weapon fights, but eh. The boss is just slow. Well, here we are. At the point I'm dreading. Ghost Woman versus the weakest character. All I can do is pray your mobility and damage is enough. And surprisingly, it was. Now here I'm pretty sure the last character you play it as gets stolen. Yep. Next time, we're gonna move on to the final stage and fight the final boss of the game. See you next time.